All right. I'm your host, J Wandoe, and you have just entered the Doe Spot. The Doe Spot is where we have discussions of experiences, a safe space where we aim to deliver messages of empowerment. Feel welcome here as we speak a universal language of love and always show gratitude. And what better way to show gratitude than to introduce your family? In this episode, we're gonna make this personal. Okay, we're gonna make this real personal. We have family on the show, like real life family. Please, some of you may recognize if you're seeing this him from various audio, video ventures. We have with us AB. AB is my actual brother. Yes, that's my blood brother. You can see the features. You can be like, oh, yeah, okay. And then as we start to talk, you may notice some other things that may be complementary to our upbringing. So thank y'all for watching. I want to say that too, man. The support has been great. I know that I haven't been upholding in my end, so I'm not even gonna say gonna do better. I'm just gonna do better. And as time goes on, we get some rhythm and go from there. But back to the subject at hand, we have AB with us, and he is representing. I don't know. AB has a podcast. He has so much going on that he don't even know where he wants to go. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. You know, how we get caught up in so much and then we get to a point where it's time to release it. And we may be feeling like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this or that. And my question is, why not you? You know, no matter what age you start at, no matter what point you are in life, everyone can start somewhere and everyone can complete something. So I know you're at that phase, AB. I know we talk all the time. So it's not like I'm just having him on and we don't talk at all. But that's my blood, man. So introduce yourself. I think I said enough to the people.
Yeah, man, it's AB government Aaron Brown. Y'all can already see that at the bottom. But yeah, man, it's AB. I'm here with my big brother, man, blood brother. Grew up with him. Have seen all of the steps of growth, and I'm glad to be here, man. I'm just glad to be on this platform. We've talked about this for some months now, if not years, of doing the episode together, and he pressed me a little bit about go ahead and get it done. So we're gonna get it done right now.
I
So
did.
let's get to it.
I did. And I also only was a press because I know how life gets. I know sometimes I've set up things like, hey, I'm going to do this with you or do this for you. And then next thing you know, a year has gone by or even longer. So, and I know he's in a transition. I'm always in a transition, but I know he's in a transition. So I want to catch him before he takes off. Because again, him being my brother, and I know people say all the time, that's my bro. Like, this is somebody that I literally grew up with. I helped him grow up, and I didn't always support him the way I really felt like I needed to. And so as we gotten older in life, we talked about it. We actually had those conversations, those tough conversations where, you know, hey, I feel this way about you, or what you did for me, or what you didn't do for me. And I feel like that's important. So with this conversation, we're going to have this discussion. I hope this changes maybe the relationships some of you may have with your brothers and your sisters, your family members, who you may feel like you may be close with or may not be close with. And I'm not saying you have to do it on camera, but just talk to them about what they mean to you, things they done for you, and how they make you feel. It's very healing, very healing, very therapeutic. So for me, I just want to get right into how we know each other, and not necessarily. Obviously, we grew up in a household together, but what about us? Do you think really brought us together outside of having similar parents, like mindsets and where we are, where we from? What do you think? What do you think those important traits that make us brothers? Like, our brothers and sisters aren't close,
Mm.
right? Like, some people don't even talk to their siblings.
Yeah. I feel like I try to do the best that I can as a brother, but I mean even our own brother, like one of our own brothers, I know I don't talk to often. Like I don't speak to him as often as I would like to. And I can't say that is not of my effort, you know what I'm saying? I know I put forth the effort to make sure that we have a substantial relationship. And I could say that for most people in my life. Like
Right.
I'm the person that's always reaching out. Like if y'all have people in y'all life that always reaching out to y'all, and y'all be like, "Oh, I'll get back to him later." I'm the person that y'all say that y'all gonna get back to later and never do. So
Yeah.
I always have a heart to give and to reach out to people and just check up on them. I don't want nothing from you. I don't want no money. I don't want no I don't even want compliments. I just want to make sure you good. Like I just want you to know that I thought about you. So yeah, like as far as my brother here, you know what I'm saying, Wando, like um he can speak for that. He can vouch for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always check up on each other, especially now. And even when we weren't really talking as often, outside of maybe my college years, I was so I can't say tunnel vision as far as focused on school, but just kind of thrown off by the whirlwind of what college was bringing to me, the experiences that I was enduring. And I wasn't a partier like that or any of that, but I think just rededicating my life to Christ at 20, what I was experiencing spiritually, what I was experiencing in terms of being in a new city and new environment, not even really wanting to be there, but all in all, like I think that I want to right
It's
back
all
to the
good.
question.
And I got distracted too because I had to realize I was so quick to jump into it. I forgot to put my headphones on. But I was really asking like how do we know each other? And what me answering that would be because we are pretty honest. Even what you said about being that person who would reach out. That's not something that all siblings or family members have in common. Because I'm pretty sure the same people you reached out to, I probably reached out to as well. So when I ask how we know each other or how do we connect more so, what are those similarities that make us who we are to each other and for each
Yeah, I think the first thing that come to mind is music. Like I think growing up with you, the main thing I remember is that silver speaker that was in the room. You know what I'm saying? And
other. I hate it.
I don't know
I
why
hate
I
it.
was so drawn to that. I don't know why I was so drawn to that, but I love that speaker. I think it was cool because it lit up and you
Yeah.
had like
I think it was
five
like a
CDs that
JVC.
could go into it.
Yeah.
It was like obviously our stepdad had the big thing in the living room. Can
Right.
I curse on here?
Receiver. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The big shit in the living room. That I mean, the huge speakers. Like, it was a downgrade to that, but because it was yours and because like you was my big brother, I'm trying to hear that, and then like I always vividly remember the DMX CD you had, the Lil Kim CD, the Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? Those were my first influences of music. And then, when I got around between like 8 and 11, T.I., Jeezy, like those guys was really hitting the scene and you was into that. So I was into it. So I
Mm.
think those were some the major influences. And then obviously sports like basketball, and one mixtapes. Like I would never know about that if it wasn't for you, for real. Like saw all those dudes. I don't remember all their names, but I remember having a video game actually, the N1 game that came out for the Xbox. I was killing on that. But video games too,
Definitely a gamer.
Madden.
Guy is a gamer.
Yeah, that was my
That's why
thing.
I honestly thought you were gonna go into like you were
I would
definitely
have. I think I would have if I had the proper support. You know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
if I had the back end, the support, people pushing, said people pushing me in that direction, it would have been a no brainer. You know what I'm saying? I'm already ultra competitive. Um, I talk my shit. I used to anyway. I don't really do it no more, but that was my thing. So I think those three things really were the main things that I could say that we related on, or I was influenced by you on. I can't say that we always did it together because you kind of
Right.
had your circle and I had mine, but those were the main influences for sure.
No, I appreciate that. When you even in mentioning music, I was influenced through um stuff your dad listened to. We had different fathers, so your dad would play certain music, whether it be R&B or rap or whatever it was. I had to sometimes be alone. I had to sometimes really use music as like a partner of mine because we 5 years apart, y'all. So even 5 years older, there were points in time where I couldn't relate to him or he couldn't relate to me. So there were some things that I had to just, I just did on my own. And as he got older, by the time he got maybe to where that age was, so let's say by the time he was 8, now I'm 13, we tend to lose where we connect. And so I'm actually grateful and thankful that you were able to share that and say that I had those influences um, on your life because it's impactful. It helps to know who you are to that person or whoever's out there. And so when we do that in these spaces as we've gotten older, we on the internet, we putting ourselves out there, we putting all our emotions out there, we putting our talents out there. We really don't know who we're helping, right? We really don't know why that person is following us, why that person is looking at us to be something. My thing is, it really doesn't matter. I don't think it should matter as much as we make it out to be. And I said that on an episode prior that somebody may see this in 2 or 3 years. It may be 2 or 3, but we looking to, oh, I need to get the views right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure when I put it, I scheduled it, I made it public, I got it, I got all the hashtags, everything is set up. It looks the way I want to look, and I get 4 views. It's like, is that what you did this for? Is that what you spent 2 or 3 hours editing to get 4 views, or did you do it for the impact? So
Yeah, yeah, it's the impact that really matters, like
as it should, I feel.
as a as a believer, I always try to remind myself like if I'm if I'm sharing the gospel with 20 people and like one person gets saved, like that's a win. You know what I'm saying? Like just the fact that like somebody's influenced by what we're doing right now, you know, um in this episode, them being positively influenced by it is a big deal. It's not to be um well, this ain't entertainment really. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't doing
It's
this for
not.
entertainment. This is like just
It's
real
boring.
talk, real spill.
It's the conversations that people don't want to have that do kind of waste your time. Not waste, but it it allows you to have to use your time differently. You're not entertained by music. You're not entertained by a lot of activity. It causes you to have to think. Most people aren't
Hmm.
thinkers anymore. We
Hmm.
allow the social media life to think for us. Even we can't even write a paper anymore. We chat GPT, things like that come up, and that might get flagged on here. I don't know. But we think about these things, it's like, wow, I don't know who's real anymore. I don't know who's a real person. When I get a text message from somebody, I don't know if they generated it. And that's scary for me because what
Hmm.
you talked about earlier with the CDs, I had to physically go get these CDs. I had to physically put the CD in the case and put it in the right changer. That was part of the life. It was okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now I can go to titles, Spotify, whatever, press the button, go to whatever song. I don't have to listen to the album anymore. We talked about that before. Like, did you hear this album? I'm like, no, but what's a good song? Somebody asked me, my boy Hood asked me about currency. What's a currency song? I'm like, I don't, bruh. You know how many currency mixtapes I've listened to? I literally couldn't give you one that could say this is his music because you got almost 20 years worth of worth of material. That'd be tough for me to have to try to go back. So I just say, in that case or whatever going forward, find the things that you like and just focus on that. Whether you put output or input, because you either the consumer. What I say? Hold on, I just wrote this down.
Consumer, the creator. I saw a
So,
video earlier actually that was a short that was
mm,
um that kind of inspired me. It was like you've had enough time like consuming information, like now it's time for you to create. So
right.
that's the wave I'm in right
Or
now. I feel
yeah,
like.
or the producer. Yeah, same thing. The consumer or the producer. Because you can. I mean, we're the producers of our own show. This is my show. This is something I put together, regardless of how it's perceived or received. It's out. When it's out, it's out. You're gonna have your people who rock with you. Somebody gonna share it. Somebody gonna say, "Man, that's me," or "That's something I wish I could do." And there's other people gonna be like, "Man, I'm good. Like I don't. I don't think this is gonna fit, and that's okay. It's quite all right. I do videos all the time. Before I hit the send button, I do consider some people. I do consider like, I wonder who's watching this. I wonder if somebody's
Uh,
gonna see this. But then that goes away in like 4 seconds. 4 seconds later, I'm like, you know what? It don't even matter.
mhm.
But yeah, I appreciate you sharing also about your college life. That was something that I didn't, I never really held to be something I wanted to do, but I did go into the military. So we both left home, right? So I did want to talk about the impact of leaving home for you, who left in high school from Florence, South Carolina, where we both from. You leaving out high school, me leaving about a year after high school. What was, I guess, to this point, those things that I guess you took with you, and then the things that you were like, I had to learn these things as I got where, in my new spot.
I don't
'Cause I
know.
know
That's an interesting
I
question because I kind of had two
took a lot of bad
phases.
habits. I took a lot of bad
Like,
habits to Georgia.
mm, yeah, I think I had two phases. So obviously, it was a kind of a shock to the system when our mom and our stepdad got divorced. I think like um you could kind of feel it coming. Even though the conversation wasn't had with us, and I think you were already kind of on your way out. Were you already gone at that point, right? Were you already gone, or
It, it,
you
ha-
was
it
leaving
happened.
that summer?
It officially happened at the when I went to basic
Yeah,
training. Yep.
yeah. So you was in basic. I was 30. I think I was 14, going on 15. So I was like, okay, like my first year of high school at South Florence, which I love South Florence. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now. Like I don't know what the state of South Florence is right now, but I love my freshman year of high school. My freshman year of high school is like probably my favorite and best year of high school. Like I didn't have no girl. I'm a lover boy, but I ain't had no girl at the time. Like I was just living life. You know what I'm saying? Like I love to just get up with my homies. Like I had friends there. I had a girl like that was feeling me in 11th grade. I was feeling like the man. I was like, dang, like this is crazy. Like I was, it was just new for me. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
but I still had my homies that I knew from like second grade, third grade. You know what I'm saying? So I had that core of friendship. So to leave that, to go into a completely new city, a completely new environment, new parents, new standards, new metrics to meet. Whereas, where my mom or our mom was like, hey, just do your best, like not gonna get you no tutoring or not gonna,
Nah,
help you out with the schoolwork, but just do your best. And then my dad is just like, if you're not doing as good as your younger sister, then like you're a failure. So it's
straight up.
like the standard for me was way different. I was constantly getting compared to my younger sister, who had a foundation and a covering that I didn't quite have.
Yeah, she has support,
Um,
like real support.
yeah, and so to come into this new city, new environment. And then I know my dad was going through a lot of trauma and hurt and pain from losing his mom and my grandma. I know he was still enduring that. And then he had a really bad motorcycle accident, couldn't work for a while. And I think that just a lot of that stress was really poured out into his marriage and then also into me and the
Right.
expectations. And so I went through a lot of verbal abuse just during that time, and I wasn't the type to really speak my mind at that time. I would just shut down. So I brought that with me into my adult years, into college, into all of that, and um, I just tried to survive high school. So I did have a girl my last couple years, and that was a lot too. And so yeah, it's just
I know
like
a little bit about that, how that went.
yeah, yeah. So heartbreak is hard just in general, no matter how old you are, how young you are. Not having that person that you can talk to about whatever and not feel like judged or reprimanded by, which I was feeling a lot when I was living with my pop. So it's
Right.
just like going into college. not having any friends or any that friend group that I did have, that safety that I did have, like in ninth grade in Florence, no longer had that basically after I left. So yeah, I think leaving 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 the safety net was tough for me, but it also was a blessing in the sense that it taught me kind of how the world really is, and um built some toughness in me and some endurance and perseverance, resilience. And so now I feel like I can kind of go anywhere, do whatever without needing that. Um, but it is nice to have.
That's an interesting take, man. And I know the question I ask anytime I ask people questions, I do consider the person. I do consider, you know, what I've seen in the person before. If I had like, most guests I have on I've talked to already. So of course I talked to you. We spent years of our life talking. Um, but with that, I appreciate you being vulnerable in that regard because as black men, we'll always, for one, have the platform or the place to speak our mind. We can't always feel comfortable being able to share exactly what we feel in those moments. And it's not to say you got to get into every detail, but if you were hurt by something, if your heart was broken, that's okay. I mean, it's okay to say that and know that you can or you have grown from it. My heart still is still broken by things that people have done to me. You know, it's disappointing to know that certain people in my life don't check on me when I know I've done just exponentially more. I say more for for their pleasure, as far as checking on them or checking in on them, making sure that I don't say anything that they may not like. Like I consider these things, and it's almost like, dang, like should I feel a little regret from that, or should I be okay with it because I know that's what I'm supposed to do? That's what God has sent me to do and to who to be. Because you carry so much burden with that, but it's hurtful, it's harmful, harmful to see people that you know you've given to, and they like it's kind of like your contributions are brushed off. But then I think about it like, man, maybe I'm likely not the only one. You know, they're not just dismissing me. I'm sure there's other people that are dismissing as well. So I don't feel too bad for me. And like not say that not right now. Like I'm not like sitting in the corner rocking back and forth. But over time, it's like it's kind of hard to trust people, to trust motives
Yeah,
and
definitely. I think my trust for people has definitely went down a lot. But I would say, and probably most people that really know me would say I was pretty naive um
mm,
to, growing up. Like for most people, like I always try to see the good in people. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think you can leave yourself open to a lot of pain and manipulation and hurt
yeah.
by giving people trust before they earn it. So now these days, you know, somebody got to earn my trust for me to just open myself up to a certain degree, um, which I think is a good thing. I think people should earn your trust.
Oh, absolutely. I don't um I don't think we walk into situations chest open, no armor on. I don't think we should ever do that. I don't think we should ever go into something completely blinded. Um, but you also have to understand that not everybody is like you. Not everyone thinks ahead. It could be
Mhm.
something as simple as I'm walking through a door and I see you coming. I see you. You literally just getting out of your car, and I hold the door for you. Most people are just gonna walk through the door. They saw you. You know, they know you were like a couple of steps away. They could have held the door open for you. So I think about that. I do think about from a courtesy standpoint. How can I be a good steward, a good steward of my time, a good steward of my energy as a school
Mhm.
teacher, as somebody working in a school? I'm constantly having eyes on me. Like I literally can't make a mistake. Somebody's gonna see it. Today I was feeling very under the weather. Just last night I was just oh man, I was feeling horrible. But I got up, I said I'm gonna go to work anyway. A couple kids walked up like, "Hey, Mr. M, like you okay?" Like checking on me. that made me feel great that a
Mm.
8-year-old or 13-year-old or 5-year-old, they notice
They
when you're not
notice.
yourself. Yeah. However,
Yeah.
I put things out there in the world to family or friends and things like that, and you don't get that same check in. And not that I do it for that, but it would be nice. It'll be nice to have that favor returned. So when it's not being returned, what I've learned to do is to continue putting things out instead of
Yeah.
dwelling on it and saying, "Oh, you don't support me." No, that's because that's not gonna help me.
Yeah. I think most people see what's in front of them and they can't see anything outside of that. Like,
Mm.
we got family members who know we exist. They might think about us, but they don't put forth the effort to say, I'm gonna go that extra step to, let me just check on them, see how they doing. They might feel like it's not won't be received well. I think likely I've heard people say this in our family. They're just like, "Oh, I just assume you're okay." I'm just like, why would you assume that? Like, why would you assume like you go through stuff just like I do? I mean, I love Jesus, but I go through a lot. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
Like, just
and
because
because you love Jesus, you go through a lot.
yeah, facts. So it's like, and to give a disclaimer to the audience, like most people in our family know I was really a super bold believer at one point, like very open about my faith, very reminding people about Jesus, reminding people that they should,
Have you heard
connect with
about
Jesus
Christ today?
more. Yeah.
That type
Well,
of
I
time,
mean, yeah, I was, but not corny with it, but like I'm gonna remind you about scripture, I'm gonna remind you
right?
what God says. Like, and so, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually wish
No, no,
I remembered scripture. I used to have it, tighter, but I'm working on that now, just getting back into my word and stuff. But
yeah.
um, to give a disclaimer, like, I think a lot of our family members think that, because you are tight with God, that you don't really need their support. And I wish that if they see this, this is not no shade or nothing, but it's more of a, hey, if you didn't know this before, like I still need y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I still need that family love. Like, just because we left home to go back to the point, don't mean that, we have forgot about y'all or, I'm sure y'all haven't forgot about us, but it's cool to um just know that, we checking in on each other every now and then. And our family has gone through some tough times. You know what I'm saying? We've all
Absolutely.
gone through some tough stuff. So, you know, um, that love isn't non-existent on my part. I'm speaking for myself. I think that we probably need a intervention or something like,
We talked
just
about it. I know it's come up. I think, well, in relation to what you're saying, impact on leaving home. We actually left. We actually got to see other parts of the world and say, "Oh, well, this family operates like this, and this works for them." Versus you never left, or you not understanding how it looks. Let's say, for instance, rest in peace, our auntie Go. She
mhm,
passed. I never desired to go to Ohio to visit her, but I would have loved to. Like thinking about it now, like man, that would have been nice to
mhm.
go see how she lives. Because all I
Yeah,
know was she comes to visit. She comes to visit. She driving bus, whatever. She would do whatever she had to do to make sure she went from Ohio to South Carolina once a year, however she went. And that was never
yeah.
something that was like as a family, like, hey, let's all pack up and go visit her one time.
Yeah,
Type
I
thing.
think we just don't. I think we fail in terms of as a family, like prioritizing family. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like we didn't do family vacations. Like even in the intermediate family, not even like
Yeah.
an extension of the intermediate family. Like it was rare that. I mean, can you remember how many times we just went to? I mean, I'm just talking about Myrtle Beach, an hour away from Florence. Like, how many times as a family have we went to Myrtle Beach?
Our household,
Yeah.
I don't remember ever going to Myrtle Beach. Like
Exactly. Yeah,
you have to probably
exactly.
remind me.
Never, 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 never. Like I don't think we
Yeah.
ever have. Maybe one time just to be gracious cuz my memory is not the
I
best, but
And you know how I would remember it, and I know this is probably a trauma thing. I know there would have been some issue, either
Mm.
like how much food we ate or gas. Like it would have been, it
Yeah,
would have
there
been,
would have
it
been
would have
some
been,
discussion about that for sure.
it
There
would
would have
have
been
been
some
a
discussion.
memory
But it's
that held
like
us
that it
from
don't cost
enjoying
that
it.
much to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Considering I don't want to put people business out there, but we know that money was not put into the right areas as they should have been. And we could have saved up 2 checks, a couple $100s per check to save up three, four hundred
Bro, this
dollars
this is
to
the '90s. This is the late
yeah, the
'90s,
nineties.
early
The
2000s.
nineties.
It wouldn't have been that much to
And they
go.
were making good money, you know what I'm saying? And then they had extra from my pops. So it's like there's
Nah, that
not
was household, bro. I don't know how you looking at it. That was part of the household. That was part of
right.
the
That's what I'm
income.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm just saying that
Well,
that's
what I'm
extra on top of what they were
right.
making in terms
What
of
I'm saying,
work.
you're looking at it as extra, as if it was like supplemental, but that was the what
It
was
should have
short.
been.
Yeah, it should have been. You're right.
Oh,
But
oh,
that's
I
where
get
we
what
were
you're
short.
saying.
So it just kind of fell into the income part. So when it
I don't know
stopped,
about that because all them cookouts and stuff, like that wasn't needed. We didn't need that. That wasn't a need.
look, this is
That could
now
have been two of those could have been a trip to the beach. A
what the
nice trip to the
beach
beach.
going to DC, bro. We used to
I'm
get
just
we used to get like crabs, like real boiled, like crab boils. So you got to think about just the
steak,
oil, just yeah,
burgers, dogs, macaroni and cheese. We had the works. Like, now I ain't gonna front. I enjoyed it. I ain't gonna act like I didn't
yeah.
benefit
That's,
from it.
you're
Like,
supposed to. You're a kid,
it was
like
a vibe. Like that was really one of the highlight memories of my childhood. Is like having it was more about having people over. It wasn't
right.
about the food or all the extras, but
And we didn't
it
have a
was more
huge
about
house.
just
Just it was
yeah.
just a lot of people over there taking up space, parking on the grass,
Mm-hmm.
playing football in the yard, playing football in the street.
Yeah. So I don't want to make
We
this seem like or we had the worst childhood type thing. We
nah,
definitely had some highlights and some good moments for sure.
nah, never
We
that.
just talking.
I, like I said before, things you brought with you. I ended up doing the same thing, and I mentioned this in the past. The Doe Spot really kind of started like that, like the whole idea of, instead of going out, instead of going to a amusement park, instead of going to the club. Hey, let's just come by the house. Let's just have a little house party. You bring your mental whatever you got to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the place to dump if you want to say that. Um, but what it ended up being for me is a way to reflect on my own life through other people. Because I did used to think I had it the hardest. I did used to feel like my neighbors had it so good,
Mm.
comparatively speaking. My people that live, even though they lived in the trailer park behind us, I used to think dang, they live in I wish we would just live in a trailer park. Maybe we'd save some money, if we weren't trying to pay for this mortgage.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
we
it
maybe
was
we
just
we have
more
a
priorities. I think priorities just
yeah,
weren't in the right
absolutely.
place. But we were
Yeah,
blessed, man. We had a house, like you said, other people did not. I felt some like guilt about that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that
mm,
like I saw how some of our friends lived and some of the stuff they had to endure, that we didn't. So I kind of saw both sides. I definitely saw the side of where we benefited a lot. Um, but again, I think even in our own household, you had a different experience than I did too. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Considering our fathers and, you know, some of the things you lacked and some of the things I had, or some of the things I lacked and some of the things you had. It's just like, just different ways of coming up, even though we were in the same household.
right. Well, that was enough family trauma. We'll tap back into that later. Let's talk about current events. All right, so you got a couple moves coming up. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. He's out there in North Carolina. I don't know if you want to disclose what city you're in, but he's in North Carolina
I'm in the
and
bull.
in the Bull Durham. So as you begin to transition, what are some things, or you could just talk about some things that you're going to be doing soon? I'm gonna go ahead and speak this life into this. What's your current
Yeah, let me
situation?
let me put it on wax so I can hold myself accountable too.
Yeah, how close, once you get through that part, with your current situation, how close do you feel you're to your goals?
Like life goals? Or you talking about like the goal of moving?
Where whichever one you want to talk about. If you started a goal today, say you want to do 50 push-ups and you
Mm-hmm.
only did 40, so that means you're 10 push-ups away. Or you needed to get $10,000 saved and you got 8,500. Now you're 1,500 away. So how close are you, whether it be mentally, financially? You can do a percentage. How
Mm-hmm.
close are you to like how do you feel like okay, I'm if I had to leave next week, next month, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it like this. So the goal is to move out of North Carolina. I'm moving to the West Coast. So that's a major move for me. Considering I've never like kind of moved to I never moved to another city on my own account, on my own accord. Like even moving from Florence to Charlotte was not really my decision. I mean, it partially was, but again, the circumstances, the divorce and stuff, it was kind of like it just kind of needed to happen. And
Right.
then from Charlotte to Durham was not my choice at all because I didn't even want to go to college, that college anyway. I wanted to go to Central Piedmont in Charlotte for my first 2 years. So even moving to Durham was not really my decision. And so being here for as long as I have around
And
2020,
you might have
2021.
some listeners that alumni, man. Shout out to school, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out to the Eagles, man. Shout out to my NCCU Eagles. Um, I'm wearing the colors right now, but
Right.
it was an experience. It wasn't the best experience I feel like I could have had in terms of college, and some of that might have been on my own account. But um, I feel like Central also wasn't my first choice. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm gonna be honest. I know I'm supposed to say positive things about my school, but it was not my
I
first
mean, it
choice.
wasn't his
So
first choice. Before you
yeah.
went there, you had a choice to make, right? So,
hmm
and it wasn't your first.
So um so yeah, so moving from Durham to where I chose, you know what I'm saying, a decision I wanted to make is just a big deal. I feel like most people that I've talked to, that's like I talk to people that live in Raleigh and they're like, yeah, I moved from New York or I moved from DC, and I'm like, why you moved to here? And they're like, oh, I
Mm,
just wanted to change the scenery, like I was hitting that point in my life, and what they're talking about is like where I am and what I'm
mm.
pushing towards now. So to answer your question, I think I'm probably about 70% there, you know what I'm saying, in
Okay.
terms of um making the move. At this point it's just about saving up the bread to transport my car, get the flight, um, paying off, basically rent up until that point, car payments and stuff like that, just making sure I have the bread to get all of that done. I just started a new job, um so just saving up that bread to get there.
Congrats
And
on that again.
yeah, appreciate it. And just, everything that I got to do, man. And in the midst of all this pivoting careers too, is I'm juggling a few things, but I think I'm starting to get a handle on things. And mainly the main thing is just learning how my brain works. And we can get into that's a whole nother topic.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, that's been huge for me.
I think 70% is great. Some people don't even get themselves that prepared. They just take a leap, right? I did that before I went to the military, 19, almost 20 years old. I remember the first time I signed up was the day Katrina hit. So 2005, when I did my initial signing, because I don't know if y'all know, but when you go through MEPS, you do your enlistment, you do your enlistment, and then you go back home and you come back when you get a report date. So it was like, so I'm watching this stuff on TV, and I'm mentioning this because it just came up. They did the 20-year Katrina and did a documentary on that. So when I left the first time, I'm like, man, I just need to get out of the home. I didn't need to get away from home. Like I was in
Mm-hmm.
the streets for no reason. Just no reason to be hanging with the people I was hanging with, and I was scared. Like I'm gonna hold you. Like I was scared that I was gonna go to jail. I was gonna get locked up. I was gonna get hurt, get killed, whatever at that time. And so I left. Also, not having a stability, like you said, being in the household, you can feel it. Like I said, you can feel it. It was time to go. I felt like I didn't go to school. My parents were like, you need to make a decision. So I just said, all right, I'll make a decision. So for you to be at this point and say, yeah, I'm going to leave soon, but I'm able to prepare for it. I think that's a great thing.
Mhm.
Um, but
Yeah. It's a blessing. Everything fell in
yeah,
line, like the fact that my job is remote helps tremendously. And also, if you ever been in and out of work in certain periods of your life, one thing I will say, don't ever stop applying. Like even when you get a job, don't ever stop applying. Like even now, like I just started this new job, I'm still applying for jobs. Like I apply for some jobs today. Starting on a new day, I'm already applying for other jobs because you just never know, man. Like these jobs don't care about you for real. If you work in corporate America, and obviously most people gonna say, well, make your own business. That ain't for everybody. I'm gonna put that out there. Like
not
starting your own business ain't for everybody. If it was, everybody would be an owner, and we know we need workers just like we need owners. So, um, it ain't for everybody, but I mean, I'm not gonna say limit yourself, but just know that you a commodity to them. You a number. As much as they might want to say you family, whatever, but you gotta, keep a business mindset and always keep your options open.
most definitely. I think more importantly, you don't you don't you don't know what they need from you. Like what they may need from you today could change tomorrow. What
Hmm.
they willing to pay you today could change because for the most part, you got to think about it. You're getting hired to do a job. Well, let's say that job is no longer needed. That position is no longer needed. And if you're not applying, then you got to reset. You
Yeah,
got to,
I mean, I'm a witness to that because right before COVID hit, 2019, I was working at Duke. They had to make budget cuts, so I had to go, and
gotta
they
go.
did give me a stipend, which I appreciated. But it's like any point where you out of work, especially the way the job market is today, it's tough. I think it's getting a little better now. And as much as people want to talk about Trump, I know we shouldn't talk about politics, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this: like
That's what it is.
Trump has done some positive things for the country in terms of gas, prices and some other things. Obviously, he's done some probably immoral things too, but and I'm not a politician or really into politics like that, but I've seen the state of the country be in better places in terms of the economy when Trump was in office in certain periods.
It's what it is. Again, as a military person, most presidents have benefited me and my family. So I can't since I've been in. Since I've been a part of the military, I've been out for 10 years, but obviously my family's still in. So I can't say nothing on either side because I'm not gonna get. That's her boss, so I'm not gonna get into it by her boss. So I can't say a word. But I
Mhm.
agree with you, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you putting that out in the atmosphere, and I know you will do well with your move because, well, for one, you already have the mentality of not quitting. You understand what would happen if you don't do well. I think
Mhm.
that's important. Some people don't go into things thinking like, well, this could fail. Well, what if this, some people literally don't think that far. They'll
Mhm.
just take an opportunity and be like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. And don't think about the next step. Like, I think it's good to
Yeah.
go into
I've done that
business.
too. I mean, I've
Yeah,
I've taken my
man.
leaps of faith. I've taken chances. Without thinking about what the consequences may be, I've bumped my head a bunch of times. I've failed. I've lost jobs. I've
Yeah.
lost
Still,
opportunities.
still paying for it.
Sometimes on my fault and sometimes on their fault. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking today. I got released from a job, but they gave me like I forget what it's called, the
It's
proper
like a
term
settlement.
for it, but a
Uh,
severance, a severance.
settlement.
They gave me a severance, but I could have sued that bit. I could have sued them, like all the information I had, documentation and stuff like that. If I didn't sign that paper, I probably could have sued them and been in a way better situation. But you
Mm.
don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So again, I've had situations that were my fault and situations that wasn't. But all in all, man, I'm trusting God in the process, and I just know I need to do my part and keep my best foot forward. But I'm excited for what's to come for sure. I definitely see positive things coming in the future.
Same here. And I feel like with what you're trying to do, why do you feel like you're the person to do it?
In terms of, well, I'm gonna speak on my sports stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I just think I'm suited for it. I know my stuff. I don't doubt why not. If anything, I believe I could. I know the areas I can get better in too. I'll say
Right.
that. So,
That's important.
you know, I've always been a pretty good speaker. People will kind of affirm you in your gift sometimes. Now, some people gonna hate, but if you got people that they might not even be your friend, but they be like, man, you pretty good at this. Like, they might
Right.
not say what you should do with it, but they like, yo, you pretty good at this. So
Yeah.
I've always had people kind of speak on my voice or you know um, the way I speak, and they're just like, you're a good speaker. So I feel like that's an element of it, is just using my voice more. I think for a large part of my life, the devil has tried to silence me and
Mhm.
keep me quiet about a lot of things. Not using my voice, scared to speak up and things like that. I'm not saying that I should just go crazy with it and just say whatever's on my mind, but I do believe that God has
Let's not
put
do that.
me in a place. I do feel like He's put me in a place to use my voice for a purpose, and so um, because of my love for sports and not just the entertainment part of it, but the deeper aspect of it is of how sports attributes to life, like how it kind of correlates with life, and you know uh how we work and what results we get. You know what I'm saying, in terms of the lack of work or the work you put forth, or you can put
Yeah.
forth a lot of work and it's still not working in your favor, but you
Right.
still got to have that faith and that fortitude to be able to keep yourself going in life. So I just love that about sports, about how it can teach us so much about ourselves and about life, and how it impacts kids, and how as adults we the influence that we have on kids, and it's up to you whether you want to have a positive or negative influence. And so I just love all of that about sports, and so I'm excited for it. Oh, I'm gonna put this out there too.
Come on.
um should I let me see, let me think about it. Well, I'm taking this test to be certified, and I'm not gonna say in what, but we talked about it before, and so the opening for that period just started actually today. I have that time to get certified in what I'm trying to do, which is also sports related. So I'm really excited about that as well. So anything sports related, man, I officiate as well. So I'm excited for just being able to ingratiate myself more and more into the sports space, and
Yeah.
having my positive influence and who I am, and my integrity, my just how I want to live my life, how I want to influence people, and the people after me is a big deal for me.
Well, we're gonna get you going, man. Like I said, you already know I done been around the world. I have way more connections than I use. I just say that. I probably, I allow people to use me for things, but I don't use my connections like I should. And a lot of that is from the family aspect. Like you don't. I don't always feel like, yeah, I don't want to ask you for anything because I might be bothering you. So I think that's one of the things I took with me,
Yeah, we
even
talked
though
about that with family. I feel like
yeah,
most of our family feel that way. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying, in terms of
Like, yeah, you can call me, you
reaching
can
out.
check on me, and I'll reach out. But I mean, I might that's where it stops. Um, but yeah, so you talked about sports, and I had these kind of mocked up already. So
Hmm.
two sports. I'm gonna flip over. I had three questions, but two sports: basketball and football. I know that's
Hmm.
probably the two that we watch the most, that we spend the most time with. What's
Yeah.
your basketball position? Of course, you got the starting five, and then you got the bench. Where
Hmm.
do you see yourself and why as a basketball player?
I'm the point guard. I think that I've always been a smaller guy, just in general. Always been the underdog. Always been the person that like people wouldn't expect much from. I remember playing basketball in middle school, and it was like it was like a pickup game, but it was kind of like a
It was competitive.
um
It was
no,
like
but
a
we had like
tournament.
a crowd. It was like our classmates are like sitting in the stands and stuff. And so it was like you sign up and like if you want to hoop, you know what I'm saying, or like it was like a bracket, you know what I'm saying, tournament bracket. And this is when I really started like getting pretty good at basketball. I think 7th grade, and I was always the small, quick guy. So we had I had like people in the stands. They used to call me Squirrel. They squirrel, squirrel, like squirrel, because I was just fast. I was fast. I was a skinny dude, but I was always able to get to my spots and score. And
Look like
so people,
Halliburton.
yeah, but I ain't had the height. I didn't have the height, and I didn't have that weird looking jump shot he got. But I could shoot. I could shoot. I think if anything, and I know people gonna probably frown when I say this, but I think that if I had a comparison of a player, like when I was really good, it was Steph. Like I really could shoot like that. Like I really could shoot at any spot off the dribble, coming off of screens. Actually, my inspirations when I hoop and when I really wanted to hoop competitively and seriously was Tony Parker and Rip Hamilton. Those were my guys that I looked at and I'm like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I could do everything they do. I was nice with a floater. I got that from TP. I always could outrun people. I always had the stamina and the cardio to be able to uh come around screens. You're not gonna be able to run with me. So I had to use my ability to outrun people and outpace people to get to my spots and score. And
That's
I
tough.
was I was the defender too. I was scrappy. I wasn't scared to defend and get up in
Touche.
people's
We
grill.
we, we had a
So
1-on-1 about 10 years ago, so I can say you definitely was
yeah.
playing defense. I don't like that. I don't like when people play defense like on me like that.
Yeah, I was scrappy. So I think just the leadership, you know what I'm saying? I was
Mm.
fiery competitive. I think in terms of Chris Paul, I probably got on people's nerves. I know how Chris Paul get on people's nerves, but you have a demand, you know what I'm saying? We trying to win. So I don't care how you feel right now. Like we got to this is what is
Do your job.
expected. If you can't do it, then move out the way cuz I'm going to do it. And Kobe was obviously my main inspiration in terms of the fiery competitiveness and his drive, his no quit attitude, Mamba mentality. Like, I always say I want to take what that passion and that drive that I have for basketball and sports and video games and how competitive I was. I want to take that into my
Man,
career in real life, and I think that just I'm gonna find it soon. I'm gonna find it soon. It's gonna be
I mean
somewhere in sports, but
it's
it's
there,
happening for
man.
sure.
We just have to unlock it and stop. Because even when you were talking, I know people gonna take this a certain way. We always thinking about how somebody's gonna take something instead of just putting it out. We always
Hmm.
over explaining or repeating ourselves instead of just really just like go live, or tell people about themselves. If you waiting for somebody to call you, call them. It could be
Hmm.
that simple. But we don't always do that. So nah, that's all good references, and that's who you feel. Can't nobody tell you weren't these people. Whoever was in that gym can say that. Outside of that, it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what happened. You know what you did. That's it. All right.
Yep.
So the second sport, football. Where would you see yourself as a football position? And I shared the point guard one. I'm definitely on a football side. I'm a receiver corner. So I'm Travis Hunter. Um, I'm 5'8".
Yeah, I think if I play any, I mean, you seen me like play street ball and
Yeah.
like, how we sideline bus and how small I was and they were showing no mercy with me. Like I was definitely getting flown like airborne. I'm getting pushed airborne into the dirt and I'm getting right back up and we gonna go at it again. Like so I had an arm. I think I had an arm. I definitely had the intelligence to play like the quarterback position. I did like receiver as well. I was always quick and shifty. I could juke. People people had a hard time catching me. I'll say that. Not in terms of direct speed, but in terms of shiftiness. Barry Sanders was my favorite player to watch. So I love watching Barry. To was my guy.
I know.
Um,
See,
but I don't know. Probably a coach or on the bench because I was so small. But I do think if we had both of us, if we had the proper coaching or like we took weightlifting seriously, I definitely think that we could have played whatever sport we wanted to play. But if it was football, I probably would have played receiver or quarterback.
No, it's good, and that starts with mentality because you got to take some hits. And I think with life, we've taken some hits. We've taken hits that we still haven't recovered from. However, we allow those hits and that impact, like physical impact on our life, the mental impact on our life, to grow. We're not choosing to stay in one space. And I think that's what the world's going to see from us eventually. If I just joined a organization called uh, it's funny, it's called a Daddy Stroller Club, the Daddy
Hmm.
Stroller Social Club. And with that, it's just dads coming out, dads with younger kids primarily, showing other dads that hey, we have a community for you, for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. Pe-
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, no, no.
And I
Go
would just
ahead.
say
Go ahead. Finish.
I just moved here, and someone asked me to be the chapter rep, and I'm just like, wow, like just because
Oh,
I
whoa,
spoke
word.
I spoke up, and I said this is something that's missing here. There's one in Dallas, there's one in Houston, there's one in Cleveland, DC. So think about that. Like I'm representing such a big organization.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, and we talked on the phone. You trust in me. As crazy as life is going on for me, as unstable as my life has been, somebody's out there that's gonna trust you to do something that you never thought to lead their and help lead their organization. And I told them I was straight up
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm not gonna be here that long. They were like, that's cool. We need you for where you are right now.
Yeah,
I think that's
that's a
important.
big deal, man. That's a congratulations for real
Yeah,
because,
thank you.
and I've been seeing a common theme of like, God putting you in leadership positions and, like forcing you to kind of have to show up, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like, do your part. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you humble about it. You always, I know you're gonna do well. And I know you're not gonna take it lightly either. I'm still reminding you, don't take it lightly because however corny or whatever it sound, however it sound, it's like you still leading individuals and how you live your life and how you go about things. Other men are gonna take from that. Other kids are gonna take from
Hmm.
that. You're gonna be around their kids. So, um, I think that and I'm just happy for black men to be able to do something like that and it's not like frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? Women have plenty of support groups and
Right.
they all they come together. They do a really good job of that, of coming together and supporting each other and being whatever type of support they need, physical, emotional support, whatever. And to be able to bond with other men and share stories about fatherhood and learn from each other's experiences is not something to be taken lightly. I think that's a part of living in community and being the love that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? Sharing the love of Christ.
I appreciate that and receive that, brother. Big deal. That's a big deal, man. That's a big deal to hear that from you. Again, we talk all the time, but I know, like you said when we started, it took a while for us to get to this point. But I feel like since we did this, it's opened up some space in your mind. I hope that I brought some light to your life. You definitely to mine. I'm gonna go back through it and just kind of hear our conversation because I think it helped that we healed from our own pain growing up, that we didn't just do this out of spite, like oh I'll just get
Hmm.
on your platform just because I feel like this is a benefit to both of us. But one last question, and we can both talk about it.
Hmm.
Who in your life has held the most space? Who do you feel like you've outside of Aaron, outside of God, of course? Who is or who was the person or people who have like whether good or bad influence you have allowed to consume you, whether that's
Yeah,
somebody that did you wrong.
I'm probably gonna get a little emotional because I think when you say what was the word you used? You
Like held the
said who
most
held
space
the
in
most
your life.
space?
Yeah.
Held the most space. So like when I think of who held the most space, I'm thinking about impact. To go back to that word, like who
Okay.
had the most impact on my life, and I think it's my grandma Shirley. It's my grandma Shirley. Like, um, and obviously she was only in my life for 13 years. So it wasn't a lot of time. That's less than half of my life at this point. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But just the love that I felt, and she showed to me constantly, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like she probably was the best living example of like Christ like love, where like I'm just gonna continue to accept you no matter what. Like, I feel like I could tell her just about anything, the worst thing that I possibly done, and she'd be like, "I don't care about that, baby. Like, come here. Like, I'm gonna give
She
you a
loves
hug.
she
Like, I'm
loves
still
you,
gonna love on you regardless." So she was the example for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I think about how somebody should display to love another person, family or not, you know what I'm saying? She was it. So it actually, even just talking about this, continues to remind me of how I want to show up for people too. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter if they family or not, like, I still want to make them feel welcome, to not feel judged, no matter what they've done, and welcome them with open arms and love and care, to let them know that somebody there really cares for them. So um, she's definitely held the most space. Other people have definitely had major impact too. You know what I'm saying? Not to make anybody feel excluded, but she was the number one.
that's fair, bro. I don't obviously I met her before you did, but not not too long. But she accepted me right away, and I never felt I wasn't her grandchild. I never
Mm,
had a feeling of like I had to separate the two. Um, like I said, open arms, always sweet, always what you need. It's not like she had to buy me things. I don't remember her like, oh, here's some shoes or nothing. I didn't. I felt the love, and that's something
mhm,
I missed a lot of love from people, man. Like unconditional, um, not transactional love. And I think a lot of people feel like I wanted that from them, even probably still now. I don't care about that stuff, bro. Like I tell people all the time, like if you want to support me, just just watch a video. If you want to support me, just share my story. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to follow me. Honestly, I don't need you to actually I honestly don't even need that part. If you want to sometimes supporting people is staying the hell out of my way. Like for real. Like if you're not going to be positive or if you're not
mhm,
bringing something that I could use, let's just go ahead and just part our ways and keep ourselves separate. And I say with how your grandmother, I say our mom held the most space, and that's mainly I care about her so much, and I care about her well being so much, and sometimes it comes off as I'm being as I'm slighting her position, and it's far from the
mhm,
truth. It's really me saying, man, mom, I see so much in you that you can do and you can be, and I can tell you that I can speak that into you. You may not do the same for me or don't know how to, because you may have feel like I've gone beyond a point of needing that. But I feel like as parents, you can always give your child some more. You can always give them
mhm.
some more encouragement, or hey, ask them a question, something they may not have thought about, or tell them something that they used to do in their childhood to remind them. Man, I used to do the same thing when you was a kid. You doing
Yep,
that now?
that's
Uh,
very important. Reminding them who they are at their core, what they used to do as a kid, what made their eyes light up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What really brought them joy and interest? Because we kind of forget that sometimes as an adult.
Yeah,
We forget the the 9 to 5 grind will suck the creativity out of you, suck the life out of you, and you just
for
like,
real.
yo, I don't even know what I like anymore. So your parents remember that though. Loving parents.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. I appreciate you being on. We got a nice little. I think we scooped out like a spoonful of information. We didn't get too. I mean, we can go a little heavier, but I think this is a good stopping point. So
Mhm.
before we go, man, AB, please give the people your handles. I definitely want to
Yeah.
promote you here. I definitely want you to know that I love you. I care about
Yeah.
you.
Love you too, bro.
I want
Love you
nothing
too.
but the best for you. This early September right now. I plan to get this up soon. But by the end of the year, man, I don't plan to see you with this background. I plan
Mhm.
to see you in
Yeah,
person
it's
for
gonna be
one.
different. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
like
different.
let's make this happen. like I said, I got something coming up. Hopefully by the end, the social media will be rolling. You're gonna be seeing me. You're gonna see my little 60 followers go to 600 followers. You know, whatever it's gonna be, because now it's like, oh, that's the guy that's doing, and that's
If the money's right, I might be able to make a pit stop there before I get to Arizona, but we'll see.
we can work things out, man. That's not
Yeah.
so.
But
Yeah,
the handle for
please.
the sports podcast, man, I cover many sports. I cover basketball, football, tennis, hockey. I have my post game interviews that I do now after I officiate games. It's UOS podcast on Instagram, and it's Unpopular Opinion Sports on YouTube. So you can go check that out. I also have a Spotify, but that's Unpopular Opinion Sports as well. So if you just want audio only, there'll be a few episodes on there as well. So be on the lookout for more content. We definitely flooding the rest of this year and going forward. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to our brothers, man. Austin and George. Shout out
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
boys.
Salute y'all. Salute y'all.
Um, I'm thinking about them all the time. I just talked to Austin today, so I'm proud of him for doing school and trying to make better of himself. You know, um, yeah, man. Shout out to the boys, and I want to shout out Courtney and Josh too. Courtney, Josh, Brandon. If y'all see this, I want to shout y'all out too. Much love to y'all.
Yes, sir.
Um, and that's it, man. That's all I got.
Shout out to all the brothers out there. If it's your real brother, somebody you grew up with, maybe y'all don't talk as much anymore. Maybe y'all won't talk as much anymore, but the love is still there. Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all for saying, you know what, to keep the peace, I'm just gonna not deal with the person, and sometimes that's a good thing. But if you
Hmm.
do have a close relationship with your people, just continue that on, because you never know when God's gonna call us home. You never know what that person's going through. So it's good to just reach out. It's good to just have a space where you three, a group of viewers, y'all feel like y'all can breathe a little bit, release some.
We said we wasn't gonna make it to 10 o'clock, and it's 10 o'clock too, by the way.
It
But
worked
I
out.
love you, bro. Keep going, man. I support you. Keep doing your thing. Keep
No
producing.
doubt.
Just keep producing. That's all I got to say. Just keep producing. I'm gonna be doing the same. But I love you tremendously. Keep going. It's one of the best fathers I know. One of the he's doing his thing as a husband, as a
Trying.
father, doing everything he doing, man. And obviously, like I said, continue to be in leadership positions. You built for it, so just keep
No doubt, man.
staying grounded in God and in His Word, and things
Always,
gonna work out.
always, always. J Wandoe,
And screw
AB.
the devil too. Screw the devil.
Yeah, get
Middle
him out of
fingers
here.
to him.
Get him out of here. It's the Doe Spot, y'all. Unpopular opinion, sports pod, and we out to the next time.
Peace.